Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Jaya Radha Vrindavan Chandrodaya Vrindavan Chandrodaya Radha Vrindavan. Jaya Nitai Gauranga, Jaya Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Jaya Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada.
Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki, ISKCON Founder Acharya BBT Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki, Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiraye Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 1, Questions by the Sages, text number 18. Atha Akhyahi Harehe Dhiman Athakhyahi Harer Dhiman Athakhyahi Harer Dhiman Avatara Kathaha Shubhaha Avatara Kathaha Shubhaha Avatara Kathaha Shubhaha Leela Vidadhataha Svairam Leela Vidadhataha Svairam Leela Vidadhataha Svairam Ishvarasya Atma Mayaya Ishvarasyatma Mayaya Ishvarasyatma Mayaya Athakhyahi Harer Dhiman Avatara Katha Shubhaha Leela Vidadhata Svairam Ishvarasyatma Mayaya Athakhyahi Harer Dhiman Avatara Katha Shubhaha Leela Vidadhata Svairam Ishvarasyatma Mayaya. Atha, therefore, Akhyahi, describe, Harehe, of the Lord, Dhiman, O sagacious one, Avatara, incarnations, Kathaha, narratives, Shubhaha, auspicious, Leela, adventures, Vidadhataha, performed, Svairam, pastimes, Ishvarasya, of the Supreme Controller, Atma, personal, Mayaya, energies. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. O wise Suta, please narrate to us the transcendental pastimes of the Supreme Godhead's multi-incarnations. Such auspicious adventures and pastimes of the Lord, the Supreme Controller, are performed by His internal powers. Kindly repeat. O wise Suta, please narrate to us the transcendental pastimes of the Supreme Godhead's multi-incarnations. Such auspicious adventures and pastimes of the Lord, the Supreme Controller, are performed by His internal powers. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. For the creation, maintenance and destruction of the material worlds, the Supreme Lord, Personality of Godhead, Himself appears in many thousands of forms of incarnations. And the specific adventures found in those transcendental forms are all auspicious. But those who are present during such activities and those who hear the transcendental narrations of such activities are benefited. Thus ends the Bhakti Vedanta purport. Om Ajnanatimidandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. The first chapter of the first canto of Bhagavatam, titled Questions by the Sages. Sages are going to ask 6 questions in this chapter, which will be the subject matter for next 2 chapters. And further, in the 4th chapter, they're going to ask 3 more questions, which will be further like that, it goes on. So basically, Bhagavatam is questions, answers. Right? Parikshit is asking questions, Shukadeva Goswami is answering. And Shukadeva Goswami is sometimes quoting the answers from some other discussion, which has happened historically long ago. So, this is what Sutta Goswami also acknowledges in the very beginning of the next chapter. He says, Munaya sadhu prishtoham bhavadvir loka mangalam yat kritaha Krishna samprashno yenatma suprasidati. So the questions which you have asked are very appropriate, and the questions which you have asked are very much valuable, worthy. Why? Because they are related to Lord Krishna and it is meant for Lokamangalam, Lord's welfare of the entire world. And only such questions are capable of satisfying the self completely. Very important point. Because we can go on asking questions, because everything around us, anywhere around us, we see so many things. We see a well-dressed person in front of us. Who is he? He looks like a rich man. I want to know. Right? Or you see a big building. What is this building? Who is the owner of this building? I want to know. So our inquisitiveness is everywhere. Means it is, we want to know everything. That's why Vedanta Sutra says, Athato Brahma Jigyasa. Your jigyasa, the power of your inquisitiveness is so much that you want to know anything and everything. That's why even in the any search engines, internet, Google or Yahoo, first thing you get is search engine, search. Because you have a question, I want to know this. You click it and you will get the whole, so many hits. Oh, I want to know this, I want to know this. So this inquisitiveness is part of our nature, Atma's nature. But right now, our inquisitiveness is spread out so much. And many such inquiries or questions are not relevant, are not worthy. In what sense? In the sense of our spiritual welfare. Right? You can go on, nowadays there are so many TV news channels, so many online, offline availability of news. What is going on? What's going on in the world? But what is relevant for me is important. This is what Bhagavatam is teaching us. Bhagavad Gita is teaching us. Ask relevant questions. Relevant questions means which is meant for your spiritual welfare, ultimate spiritual welfare. Otherwise, any other questions is only going to simply, you have answers for them, but what is the use? Right? Shukadeva Goswami later on, he will say to Parikshit Maharaj that people ask questions, so many questions, thousands of questions, only concerning about body or bodily connections and mind, that way. Emotions. They are not relevant to Atma Tattva. So here we can see the questions, 6 questions which the sages asked are appreciated by Shuta Goswami later on as very relevant questions. So these relevant inquiries are very important. So in that way, Bhagavatam is training us what questions you should have. Because our mind, intelligence has become so dull, manda, that we don't even ask questions, relevant questions. Our questions are concerned about, as Prabhupada says, ahara, nidra, bhaya, maithuna. Right? So what are these 6 questions which they are asking, and why are they asking these questions? In the beginning of this chapter, it was mentioned, all these sages have assembled together for 1,000-year sacrifice for the welfare of the entire world. And in that sacrifice, the sages of Naimisharanya have selected Suta Goswami as the president, and he is elevated to the seat of a president, chief, and they are inquiring from him. And why only Suta Goswami? Because Suta Goswami, was present in the assembly of a discussion between Parikshit and Shukadeva Goswami, which the entire Bhagavatam later on we're going to see the description. Why Parikshit and Shukadeva Goswami met is going to be described in this canto. And in that discussion, which happened continuously for 7 days, Parikshit had asked many relevant questions, which Shukadeva Goswami had answered them. So because Suta Goswami was part of the discussion in that assembly, so they chose him to be the president. And the first question they ask is, please tell us what is the highest welfare for all the living entities, which the living entities can actually experience. So the first question is, Tatra tatranja ayushman bhavata yad vinishchitam. Also the Goswami, please explain to us in an easily understandable way what you have ascertained to be the absolute and ultimate good for the people in general. Because people in the present context are thinking, this is good for me, or this is good for me. Earning money is good for me, or owning properties is good for me, or getting name, fame is good for me. They are just, scattered everywhere. So what is the absolute and ultimate good? Ekantatah Shreya. Please let us know. Question number 1. Question number 2. Sages were anticipating that Suta Goswami may quote different scriptures and give us references from various scriptures. So, but people of Kali Yuga are not very intelligent. So they further made a second question. You please tell us the essence of all scriptures. Bruhi, bruhi, bhurini, bhuri, karmani, shotavyani vibhagashaha, atashreyo, atrayat saram, sara. What is the essence of all the scriptures? Question number 2. Okay. Question number 3. Because sages already knew that Lord Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead, had appeared just 1 yuga previously. It is said that Kali Yuga, rather, when Kurukshetra war ended, Kali Yuga began. So, sages were in that way very much contemporary to that age when Lord Krishna was very much present. And they wanted to know why Krishna appeared. Right? This is question number 3. Why did Krishna appear? And further, they ask, question 4. What are the various wonderful pastimes which Krishna and other incarnations perform? You would like to know that because hearing about the pastimes of Krishna is very glorious. This is question number 4. Today, 18th verse is question number 5. So they are asking, please narrate to us Atha Akhyahi Harer Dhiman Avatara Katha. The various transcendental pastimes of the Supreme Godhead's multi-incarnations. So Prabhupada is giving us clarity in the purport that this material world's creation, maintenance, destruction, Srishti, Sthiti, Laya, is carried out by Lord only through his many thousands of forms of incarnations. Which means, here the sages are referring to what is known as Purusha incarnations. The 4th question was Lila incarnation. The 5th question is Purusha incarnation. So they are referring to that particular aspect. How does Lord maintain this material world? one is his eternal pastimes of Lord's Leelas, incarnations in this material world and spiritual world. One more is how Lord himself is creating this material world. He is maintaining it and annihilating it. This is question number 5. Question 6 will come later. You keep attending the Bhagavatam class, you will hear. Okay. So now, the answers to these 6 questions is given in this 2nd chapter and 3rd chapter. So, this question 5 answer begins in 3rd chapter. Purusha incarnation explanation. And further, question 4 is addressed in chapter 3. Then 6th question also is answered, which means first 3 questions are answered in chapter 2 and next 3 questions are answered in chapter 3. This is the overall view so that we understand what we are going through. Because sometimes we think, oh, somebody is asking questions, somebody is answering. What's going on in Bhagavatam? Very confusing. It is a very wonderful flow from the beginning. And it's very systematic. If you know that flow properly, then Bhagavatam is supposed to relish as Bhagavatam in the beginning. Vyasa Muni has given us the blessings. Nigama kalpa taror galitam phalam shukamukad amrita darva samyutam pibata bhagavatam rasamalayam. The essence of all the Vedic literatures. And only those fortunate souls are relishing this tasteful nectarian juice. Only liberated souls can relish this. So that is Bhagavatam. So Bhagavatam has that nectar because it is Lord himself in this form of Grantha Bhagavata. Lord has himself incarnated. It is very auspicious. That's why it is said Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Every day hearing Bhagavatam, you are going to touch Krishna directly. And hearing Bhagavatam regularly is what Bhagavatam recommends every now and then. Shrunvatam Svakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridayantastoya Bhadrani Vidhunoti Sakhrusatam. When Prabhupada was traveling from Kolkata to America on a cargo ship, his voyage was on a cargo ship for 37 days. Before he was about to land on the soil of America, he wrote one wonderful poem. In that poem, he expresses, Lord, I don't know why you have brought me here in this place which is filled with modes of passion and ignorance. Rajo and Tamo Guna is completely filled here, and people are absorbed in activities of Kama, Krodha, Lobha. And I have come with a message of Bhagavata. I don't know what they will understand. But I'm sure, Lord, by your causeless mercy, if they can hear this message of Bhagavata and repeatedly hear, then I'm sure their heart will become cleansed. And Prabhupada quotes this verse. Series of verses are there in next chapter, we'll see. How just by hearing Bhagavatam, that's what Prabhupada is mentioning here, those who are present during the activities of the Lord and those who hear the transcendental narrations of such activities are benefited. Simply hearing them. So Prabhupada quotes this series of verses in the next chapter, in that poem. He says, simply hearing about Krishna, Krishna Katha, is so purifying, is so auspicious, Mangalam. Srinvatam Sukatha Krishna, Punya Shravana Kirtan. It brings about Punya, piety in you. Why? Because Lord sitting in the heart, he is seeing, oh, this Atma is trying to hear about me. And immediately Lord reciprocates. Because that's why Lord is sitting in the heart. When you will turn your face towards me. Prabhupada has mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, at least in some many purports, But how our relation with Krishna is very intimate, very close. But we have forgotten. That intimacy, Lord is so much, He's feeling intimate with us that He has personally incarnated as Paramatma. One more incarnation. Right? The Purushas incarnate as 3 Vishnus. One Vishnu is sitting in your heart. Shirodaka Sai Vishnu. And He's waiting when you will turn your face towards Him. So He will, when you start hearing little, the Atma is getting interested. He will immediately help you further and further. So this is what Prabhupada is trying to, give us this wonderful message from this verse, that Lord has created this world, He's maintaining this world, and also destroying this world again and again. And He Himself takes thousands and thousands of incarnations. Why? Only for the purpose of reclaiming us. Telling us, don't simply suffer in this material world. Come back to me. So much arrangement Lord has made. If you go on analyzing what all Lord arrangements are, Prabhupada gives a little glimpse of that arrangements in Bhagavad Gita also. How Lord, after creating one universe, not only one, He creates thousands and millions of universes. In one universe, again He enters as one more Vishnu, Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. And that Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, from him, from his navel, the lotus flower sprouts. And the top of the lotus, Brahma is created by Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu, that particular form of Vishnu. That's why Brahma is known as Swayambhu. No help is required for Vishnu to give birth to Brahma. Generally, our understanding is male, female combine and the birth of a child happens. But Lord is so powerful, omnipotent, that no other living entity's help is required. He can create living entities. Rather, He can create Brahma without any help of Lakshmi ji also. So when Brahma is created, then Lord, in Brahma's day, rather Brahma's life is 100 years, but not like our 100 years. One day of Brahma is the 1000 Divya Yugas. One Divya Yuga is equal to 4 cycle of 4 Yugas. Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara and Kali. Like this, the 1000 cycles of these 4 Yugas become one day, 12 hours of Brahma. This is all Bhagavad Gita is describing. And similarly, 12 more hours, 1000 more cycles is Brahma's night. And during these 1000 cycles of 4 yugas, Divya Yugas, which is called a Kalpa of Brahma, there are 14 Manus coming. Right? These 14 Manus are also again incarnations of Krishna. And in every, these 14 Manus means if you say 1000 cycles, if you divide 1000 by 14, it becomes around 71 cycles for each Manu. And in 71 cycles of 4 Yugas. And in every Yuga, Lord comes as Yuga Avatara. Just see. And Lord appears as Gunavatara, which will be described later on. Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. And Lord also appears as Manvantara Avatara. So like this, if you go on calculating the numbers, it will come to, you can't even count. Bhagavatam later on will say, just like you stand in front of a ocean, beach, go on counting the waves. Can you ascertain how many numbers? No. Like that, The unlimited waves of the ocean go on coming. Like that, Lord's incarnations are unlimited. Incarnated as Paramatma, incarnated as Vishnu, incarnated as Manvantara Avatara, that, this. So that's what Prabhupada is telling. He himself appears in many thousands and forms of incarnations. And everything about Lord, any incarnation, any activity of Lord is Shubhaha, is auspicious. Why? Because Lord is all auspicious. Anything about Lord is all good. So hearing about Him is all good. Right? There's one more wonderful point which this verse is telling is about Atma Maya. Atma Maya means internal energy. When Lord descends, He descends in His internal energy. He is not appearing as like our birth. You should understand this distinction. Lord's appearance, when He comes down from spiritual world to material world, that is called avatara. He descends from spiritual world to material world in a form which we can see, experience. That is called avatara, incarnation. Right? So His appearance is always, whenever He comes, incarnates, He always maintains His spiritual sanctity, spiritual dignity. And He is always in that Atma Maya, which Krishna also confirms in Bhagavad Gita. Whereas when we are born, we don't appear, we are born. Right? We are forced to be taking birth. We are forced under a certain conditions. So we are called conditioned soul. We don't have freedom. Right? By our own actions, we have created a situation in our lives that we are conditioned to repeatedly take birth. Right? So Prabhupada very nicely explains this particular aspect of how we all living entities as spirit souls can become Mahatmas, liberated souls. We are all entitled for that. That's why Krishna is preaching Bhagavad Gita, talking Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, that all of us have to become Mahatmas, pure devotees. Mahatma means always engage in Krishna's devotional service. Mahatmanastu maam partha daivim prakriti ashrita bhajanti ananya manaso. Lord Krishna mentions that the pure devotees are always under the shelter of Atma Maya, Daivi Prakriti. Whereas right now we are under the influence of Yoga Maya or Mahamaya. Right? Krishna has one more energy called external energy. Whereas pure devotees are under the influence of internal energy. And we are under the influence of external energy. That is the difference. So long we are under the influence of external energy, we are conditioned to follow the dictates of material nature. We want something, but we cannot do. It's like Prabhupada gives example of, in this body I want to fly, but I cannot, because I don't have wings. Okay, you're so much desiring, next life He will make you a bird. So our body is having limitations with a specific type of functions, specific type of activities, specific type of roles which we can play in that body. Anything and everything cannot be done. Right? Whereas with regard to spiritual body, anything, everything can happen. Prabhupada is, in one of the conversations, I was just going through a lot on conversation recently. Prabhupada says, spiritual body is like that. Anything and everything can happen. It's like today, one devotee in Goloka Vrindavana wants to become a flower in the lotus feet of Krishna. He's very happy. And tomorrow, I want to become a Gopala. Fine. Can again transform. Prabhupada confirms this point. That is how spiritual world is. So much varieties and so much excitement, so much enlivening situation. In your case, you are stuck with one body whole life. Right? What I can do, I'm nice like that. Spiritual world is very much enchanting. That's what Lord Krishna wants us to go back to. If you are busy with our activities here, then it is our misfortune. We are our own architects for our future. So, Krishna wants us to become Mahatmas, coming under the influence of spiritual energy or Daivi Prakriti, Atma Maya. And for that, we have to practice devotional service. Krishna also mentions, Satatam Kirtayanto Mam. What is the next line? Dridhavrataha. Idam Dasha Dridhavrataha. So, always glorifying me, engaging in my devotional service. The devotees are engaged with determination. So, determination is required. Krishna also gives hints of determination from the very beginning. Vyavasayatmika buddhi ekeha kurunandana. If you're not determined, then you will be bahushakha. You'll be multi-branched. Your mind goes everywhere. That also is good. This also is good. So we have to be determined. Determined to follow the sadhana process which Srila Prabhupada has given us strictly. Right? Every day following sadhana, every day doing our spiritual duties is what is going to please Lord Krishna, Prabhupada, and eventually Lord's will, what has to happen with us will happen. But Lord has assured, if you're following this, success is guaranteed. So this is what Bhagavatam is teaching us. So this, to conclude, this verse is the 5th question in series which sages are asking. And it is concerning about the Purusha avatars, as Prabhupada is explaining in the purport. And hearing about any incarnation of Krishna, either in this material world or in various other leelas, is all auspicious. Anything about Lord is auspicious. Right? So even the holy name, Hare Krishna mantra, is also incarnation. Kali Kale Nama Rupa Krishna Avatar. See? Lord can incarnate in any form, sound, material form. Because sound also is one of the elements of this material world. So Lord can come in any way, any form. He's all pervading. Okay, so I'll conclude here. Anybody has anything to ask, discuss? Yes. 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 Okay. See, when we have fallen down here, we are having one conditioned body, conditioned existence. That is because we have done something in the spiritual world which for some reason which we have disobeyed Krishna's laws or Krishna's various arrangements there. That is the reason we have come here. But there, once you go back, it's like this. Again, we should not put our material conceptions to spiritual world. Because what descriptions are given in Bhagavatam and other scriptures is all very limited. What we know about the spiritual existence. Right? Just to get a glimpse of that is what is revealed to us. And there is much more bigger eternal truths in the spiritual world which we are not aware. Right? And pure devotees like Prabhupada will reveal here and there some things, some nectars. Right? We have to take it. It is very much part of the conversation. Prabhupada says that very clearly. Yes, you can change. That's what is excitement, no? It's like today you are here in one form. Tomorrow you'll become something and serve Krishna. Wow, exciting. Even, today we have, a feast in the afternoon if you announce. exciting. Or after 1 week, I'll go for a Mayapur Yatra, exciting. So spiritual world is filled with excitement every moment. That's the point. So when Prabhupada says, we take it as authoritative because many descriptions in the spiritual world are not revealed. Because it will only be revealed to when you are advanced to a certain stage. Right? Yes, of course, your constitutional position, you go back. After that there is freedom, no? Right? After that there is freedom. Just like in Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna mentions, the living entities are called Sarvaga. Sarvaga means he can take birth or they can go anywhere in this universe, material creation. If that much freedom is there, in our conditioned life also, spiritual world, how much more freedom is there? Correct? See, just like Krishna is all powerful, he can do anything and everything, every living entity is endowed with that powers. And the only difference is that every living entity is aware of his position and Krishna's position. That's the difference. He'll never imitate Krishna's position. He always knows. So pure devotees also are as powerful as Krishna. But they know their real situation. In material world, what happens when power comes? That will contaminate our mind. Oh, I am everything now. I am the Lord. You don't understand who gave you powers. That's the problem. Okay, hope clear? Yes.
Prabhu, in Bhagavatam, is there any clarity like because Suta Goswami and his son later another Suta Goswami, his son. So till which shloka the Suta Goswami first was there and then his son?
Suta Goswami was until the end. He only narrated the whole thing.
But Prabhu, when like Balramji came and the killed, it connected to this Bhagavatam. So when he came, when he killed the
Suta Goswami is the son of father, one more Suta, Romaharshana Suta. See, Ugrashava Suta. This, what is speaking is called Romaharshana Suta. What happened when in assembly, when Romaharshana Suta was speaking, Balramji came and then he didn't show respect. He was killed by Balramji, liberated for that matter. Later on, Balramji empowered son of Romaharshana Suta, Ugrashava Suta, to become. This is mentioned in the second chapter.
So it was like in continuation of Bhagavatam.
That description is not there, but nevertheless we can just assume that maybe it is continued because 1,000 year sacrifice.
So when Sukdev Goswami was speaking Bhagavatam, Romaharshana Suta was there.
That time this Ugrashava Suta Goswami who is speaking Bhagavatam was there. Because Shukdev Goswami speaking Bhagavatam was after Kurukshetra war. Parikshit's enthroning. Parikshit is king now. After that it was. The period is different. So maybe the sages were doing sacrifice, then he was again posted as the president of the assembly. That's the point. So very clearly in second chapter, first verse only it says, Ugrashava, Suta Goswami, son of Romaharshana. So Bhagavatam has everything. Just a little more, go a little more details now. Everything will come. You'll get. All answers you'll get. Yes, anything else? Let's close now. Nantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.